I'm the only one who doesn't.
Sorry. Can everybody hear me? So ideally on your screen, you should be seeing two windows. We're using, in Zoom, there's a feature called spotlighting. So we've spotlighted my camera, which is the one that has me here. And then the other is an iPad that we're using for the interpreters. This has been an interesting challenge trying to put this thing together. Thank you all for joining us. And I have like 2 fingers crossed and my toes crossed. So if everybody crosses their fingers, we should have, I see 47 people connected. So that's like almost 100. That should give us good luck. I have 2 people that have helped me tremendously get this thing set up. My cousin Pam found them for me. They are people that Pam works for. And that is Kimberly and Stephanie. They are in Fresno and work, and Pam found them for me, but they've got experience. They're tech savvy and have experience with Zoom, and they've helped me, as I said, tremendously get this thing set up.
Dan, can you get the interpreter to be higher, bigger? Right now, everybody sees all the little tiny things and we can't see the interpreter.
So patience.
Thank you.
What we're gonna do so we have all of your videos that you've submitted. My mom is gonna say a few words. Sharon's gonna say a few words. I am gonna say a few words. It's all been taped. So in just a couple minutes, we're gonna shift to roll the tape. And before we do that, we're gonna turn off all of your videos. So all of these little squares will go away. And I want to, this might be too hard for people, but I'm gonna give it a shot. In Zoom, up in your menu where it says zoom.us, there's an item called preferences. And in Zoom preferences, under the video section, if you scroll to the bottom, you're looking for a checkbox that says hide non-video participants. If you can find that and do that, that will make the experience better. If not, don't worry about it.
Okay, I'm not going to worry about it. Ginny, right? This is his mom.
Oh. So what we're going to do, and down at the bottom of your screen, you see a button called chat. Kimberly and Stephanie, my assistants, are in the participant list as Tech Help K and Tech Help S. That's what we've named them. But they are monitoring the chat session. So if you have questions, you can type in the chat at any time, and they're going to monitor that and hopefully can help you. And so
Dan, we can't see the interpreter. The interpreter is against a white background.
Yes. Who's this talking?
This is Millie. And she's against a white background and you can't see her.
Because it's too bright?
No, it's glary.
Okay,
Her hands are lost in the light.
okay.
Can she move over? Is there a black wall against that she can move over to?
We have a
No.
curtain, Millie.
Can I make a suggestion too? This is Amy Amundsen. Can you turn the interpreter's camera horizontal instead of vertical? Then she'll be closer.
Oh.
Because it's vertical, so we get black sides around her.
Yes, that.
For horizontal, then we'll get her full screen.
That.
That helps, yeah.
Oh,
Now her face is cut
way
off.
better. Now she,
You're
her
right.
head's gone.
I have,
Yeah, there you go.
Is that better?
Okay, yeah, now we're still all getting everybody in.
No, I
Are
don't know
you
why
seeing that all?
we haven't punched that in. I don't know how to.
We haven't, patience,
comment.
patience.
Okay,
Um,
I'm sorry. It's
fine.
just all your explanation, we can't see it. You can only hear it. So,
this helping with the glare,
Setting up now.
not helping with
No,
the glare?
don't worry about that.
Should, maybe we turn it around and we can.
Oh, feel so badly for Danny.
Maybe?
Try standing over there for a sec. Is that any better?
I can see her perfectly.
Yeah, we can see fine on this, on these cameras here, everything looks fine. So I'm not sure what,
Maybe Millie has her white light set up too much, her white settings.
because we don't have any control over the light here.
That's probably even more white.
It's,
Does
it's,
anybody else have glare on the interpreter? Other than Millie? Nobody's answering. Do they
This
have
is the Bullocks. We see Millie just fine. Or I mean, we see the interpreter just fine.
okay.
And this is Pam. Marilyn and I can see her fine as well.
Okay, great. Thank you for
Okay.
answering.
Trouble with over there,
What?
when they're voicing, we're not gonna
Oh.
pick up the sound.
I think
She's
they're loud.
Can
I
carry.
think we have to go back over here.
Sorry.
Um,
Yeah. For the hearing people who don't know sign language, we
have-
need to position the interpreter there for the voice volume.
Okay, so this is set up, this is the best we can do. Because so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna have Kimberly and Stephanie turn off all of your videos and turn off all of your audio. So your speakers, your speaker and your camera should be off. Then I'm gonna roll a tape that's gonna go for about an hour and 10 minutes. Which will be interpreted. And if you would like to speak afterwards, after the hour and 10 minute video, click the chat button at the bottom and tell Kimberly and Stephanie you would like to chat, and they're going to manage whose camera gets turned on and when. So use the chat function if you would like to talk, and that will be in about an hour and 10 minutes. So I'm going to now switch to the video. You're going to lose us on the camera and you're going to see our video tributes. So fingers crossed. Thank you.
I just joined with audio.
Oh, turn off your audio.
I don't know how, so I just shut it. See Mommy. Trying to, so you can be seen on this. We should scoot up. But now it's video. Can you hear me?
Please move the interpreter. Hirano.
Hirano said, please move.
They're asking you to move.
Hello. I am Joyce Lynch. I'm Dan's wife. I want to comment about everybody who had sent us beautiful cards, food, dishes to eat, delicious, many things, flowers. I really appreciate it. And I want to thank each and every one of you who has sent a card or food or given your time. and your flowers is, of course, most important. But I really want to thank you all again. So now I will start
Hey, Dan, this is Kim.
a little bit about
Yes.
who I am.
There's no video playing.
So, hello.
Damn it.
I have been married to Dan for 64 years. When I first,
You'll have to share your screen.
Hey, this is Jewel speaking. Why don't we use the spotlight feature and spotlight the deaf person who's speaking? Do you need help with that?
It's a video.
Oh, you're trying to screen share a video.
Yeah, it worked before. What am I not doing right?
Are you a host or co-host? You have to be host or co-host in order to get the bottom screen
Yeah.
share option.
yes, they are.
Oh,
We're working.
all right. Sorry. Thanks for.
That's all right. It's a group effort. There we go. Nicely done.
I think we're there now. We're starting over. Here we go.
And then at the right of the play button, do full screen. Yeah,
Hello,
there we go. Good job.
Turn off your audio.
I'm Dan's wife. I want to comment about everybody who had sent us beautiful cards, food, dishes to eat, delicious, many things, flowers. I really appreciate it. And I want to thank each and every one of you who has sent a card or food or given your time and your flowers, is, of course, most important. But I really want to thank you all again. So now I will start and talk about a little bit about who I am in my life with Dan. So, hello. I have been married to Dan for 64 years. When I first met him, well, actually I knew him before, but I met him there was a picnic at the California School for the Deaf, and he was looking for a partner. So he saw me and came up to me and asked me, would you please be my partner for the picnic? Ooh, I was, wow, this big guy, and he's asking me to join as his partner? Wow. I said, wonderful, yes. So we were together, and I was 14, he was 16. And now I am 85. Dan was 87 when he passed, 87 years old. So 87, and now I'm almost 85. Really, I'm a little bit excited because I'm not quite 85. I'll say I'm. So Dan was very generous. He's helpful. Wow, so helpful. I respect him a great deal. Through our school years together, we were, in the lower grades, we were college, we got married, all the way through our lives, he's always been nice. And so that when he is now in heaven, that means that he has peace. And that's what I want for him. He wanted peace himself as well. That was the point. So he's in peace now. I'm happy now. I'm not sad or crying. I feel content with him going to be with God, and he's up there. I know that he's there. I'm going to join him later. I don't know when, but later. Also wanted to mention that about the cards that you sent. All the people that had written sentiments in the cards were humor, about Dan's humor. Oh, he made me laugh, and wow, that's great to know.
Karen, you're on the video. Maybe you can interpret what you hear.
Son, our oldest son, Danny, we call him Danny, but he's Dan Jr., Daniel James Jr. Danny, yeah, that's his name sign. I almost forgot what his name sign was, but Danny is what we call him. So he has been helped a lot since Dad has passed. He's checked up on all of the loose ends and things that need to be done after death, like documents and death certificates, helping with the mortuary and everything. And it's paid us some bills for us. It's really been wonderful. It's great to have him. He's really, very good at organizing things. And I want to thank Danny personally. Thanks for being a nice guy and helping us out. Sharon, she's a wonderful person. Sweet, kind, very thoughtful. She'd be willing to help, and she's helped me a lot. I don't get around very well. My mobility is a little impaired. It's hard for me to walk. So she helps me get to where I'm going, buys food, cooks for us, cleans the house for us, all kinds of things. And I really want to thank Sharon for being a wonderful person. Even though she really wants to go home to Indiana, she stays here with us and with me now. And I feel like I need her. And it's true that I do need her, but it's like shame on me, being selfish, thinking of myself. I want to have her here with me, but really I should let her go to Indiana. And she's been staying, but when she goes, it will be someday, she will go. But I want to thank Sharon very, very much. Love you too.
He deserves it.
Now, I want to talk about my grandchildren. We have 7 grandchildren and 7 great-grandchildren. The 7 grandchildren are all in school, college, or not in school, but have gone to school, graduated, college children. Then the 7 great-grandchildren, so adorable. They're cute. I really love having them. They're so sweet and innocent, very innocent children. And I love them all. So one more thing that Dan, my son, has worked so hard on setting up this Zoom celebration for all of us, and has contacted many people to get advice, how to do this, and has learned his way through this on his own. We could have gotten the services from a chapel or an online agency, but the charge was $2,000 to do that, with the meetings. But Dan decided to do it himself and has done such a great job. So I want to thank him very much. So I really have wonderful children. My one son is missing, which is Kevin. He's not here with us anymore. He passed away 3 years ago. But now his dad is up there with him. And I'm sure that the two of them are having a wonderful talk, and they're together and everything's great. So good for them. I'm glad. So I think that's all. Thank you all again for coming and joining us and watching this Zoom tribute and want to thank you again. We love all of you very much. Hi, thanks for joining us today. My name is Sharon, and I'm going to tell you a story. My dad and I loved to play pranks on each other. He would get a big kick out of it when he could have a piece of thread wadded up at the end and sit in his chair and then wait for me to walk past, and he would pull it to make it move. And I would jump and scream. He loved to watch the faces of people when they were scared or when they were laughing. And he was a great man. There's so much to be said about him, but it's hard for me to put it all into words. My experience growing up with him as a father was fantastic. I couldn't have asked for more. It was so special. He was a special man, was a very involved father. He was always busy at work. He was busy with his community projects. He did lots of volunteer work. He was a member of lots of clubs, president, vice president, held officers' positions in different clubs that he belonged to and had membership in. He was always loving and funny, but commanded respect. He was strong. I thought he was so handsome. I thought I was so lucky, and I was always so proud to introduce either of my parents, just because they were great people. He was a trailblazer and part of a large Bay Area deaf community that had made a difference in the way deaf people and the deaf community is perceived. And I was able to witness that. It made me very proud. There are accomplishments that this group of deaf people have made that have made a difference in society. The first Deaf Awareness Week was set up by Leo Jacobs, a good friend of my dad's. My father was president of the Vista Lions Club 3 times. And during that time, in collaboration with the Lions, they set up the Ears for Lions program, which is to focus on deaf needs. And it went along with the Eyes of the Lion, which was a lot of their work that they do for the blind. So my dad was very proud of getting that started. My dad loved nature, and I think that was passed on to me. We used to be outdoors. We have a family cabin up in Cobb Mountain, Lake County. And when we were out walking with my dad, he would point out lizards or little bird nests that we wouldn't have seen, explain about plants or trees and share his knowledge and curiosity. He had the curiosity of a child, and passed that on to us, and I'm grateful for that. He was very talented, creative. Give the man a scotch and he could write a great speech or introduction for somebody, or write a letter to his sister in New Zealand. He would write pages and pages of that sitting at his desk with his little lamp on, and he enjoyed doing that. My dad always worked on projects around the home, upgrading, remodeling, painting, building things. He had great pride in his homes. He loved to have parties and celebrate events with his friends. And my dad and his friends, my parents and his friends,
They were all leaders and thoughtful, generous, kind people. When they partied together, they really had fun. They were all so real with each other. They dressed nicely. They looked good. It was wonderful to be a part of that. He was good with money, budgeting, saving, planning for the future. My mom will be well taken care of, and that's a blessing. I mean, what more could you ask from a man than to provide for his family, even after his death? I thank him for that, and I will miss him dearly. My mom and I will go on, and we will think of him fondly. We will share happy memories. We will be happy when we think of him in heaven with his parents and my brother Kevin and his infant daughter and his brother, just everybody that he's up there with. He was ready. He was really ready to go join all of them and be on his next journey. So that's about it. I want to thank you all for coming and sharing his memory with us. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Dan Lynch Jr. It's really nice that you were able to join us for this celebration of my dad's life. Thank you for joining us. Sorry that it is a virtual session. That's the best we can do with COVID-19. I am going to say sorry for so much fingerspelling. My dad was a very good man. As you all know, we miss him. He was a good father, a good teacher, a leader in the deaf community. He was very good at many things and connected to so many good people through his long life. Speaking of long life, he is a record holder. He's 7. Longest living male Lynch in his family. He was very proud of that. Selfishly, I hope to beat that. He was very proud of his Lynch heritage. He has a drawer full of Lynch history stuff. Grandpa Lynch was a superior court judge, Hirano County. And Grandma Lynch was very influential in the Vallejo community. Two very powerful people. Two of Grandpa's friends were Earl Warren and Pat Brown. Mr. Warren went on to be Supreme Court Justice, United States. Pat Brown was governor of California. Grandma and Grandpa were leaders in their community, and I think that's where my dad learned a lot of his leadership skills. He was a leader in many aspects of the deaf community, as you all know. Dad was a hard worker. I remember early that he was often working 2 jobs, teaching, working at the newspaper printing, hot, metal, and type. Interesting process. He also taught that at school later. A skill that no longer exists. Computers now. His work as a teacher came with a bonus: summer vacation. I remember him working on the house, inside the house, painting, putting stuff up outside on the yard. Always had a project, always planning a new project. Summer was the time when he went to work. His goal for the summer was to work hard and by the end of the summer be in great shape. Summers were fun, a lot going on. Camping with the flying ants, captioned films with the Collins or the Kuhns or both or others. Sailing and ski trips to serene lakes with the Kuhns. Summer trips to the cabin at Cop, one of my dad's favorite places. I learned a lot from my father. Hard work is good. You can do anything just need to figure it out. It's good to be right. You don't always get what you want. If you screw up, there will be a penalty. He was a proud man. He was a kind. He had a good. I am who I am. Because he was who he was. Thank you, Dad. I miss you.
Hello, this is Mike Finneran. Dan Lynch, this is his name sign. We miss him. He's left-handed. Left-hand signer. He golfed in his left hand. At first, when we first moved here from Illinois, Lynch and his beautiful wife always welcomed us, especially to their parties, to their wonderful parties that we enjoyed. And he took me golfing in Novato area in 1994, far west. And wow, thank you to Lynch. He golfed beautifully. We just wanted to have more of a swing. Lynch, or Dan, as he called him, he had a lot going on in the Lions Club and the Knife and Fork. And he said, Finneran, come on, come with me. I enjoyed being with him. I miss him. And he helped me move from Walnut Creek to Concord. Moved all of my stuff in record time. Wonderful. His heart is big. Wow. Very generous. Very giving. A kind man. We miss him and send love.
Hi, I'm Stephanie. Dan was my grandpa, and he just meant so much to me, more than I can explain in a short videotape. My mom and dad, they were both really young when I was born, and lucky for me, I had my grandma and my grandpa. The two of them, they took care of us. They really supported my family. It was really great. Like role models and a support system that my young family needed. And my mom and dad, they divorced, but I always knew that I had my grandma and grandpa. I could call them if I needed anything. And some people, they have their whole life and they never experience what unconditional love means. But I believe that me having that from my grandfather, it helped me gain confidence in myself and just be a strong woman, you know, become who I am, feel at peace with going my own way, and really just persevere through hard times in my life. I have a lot of wonderful memories of my grandfather growing up. My mom, I lived with my mother in Central California. I remember just excitedly waiting for my grandfather to come and pick me up, bring me to Fremont for Christmas or Thanksgiving or Easter, or even go to Cobb for a week of summer camp. That was really fun. Of course, we would always stop for hamburger on the way. And I remember how strong I felt when I would interpret for him at the restaurant. I felt happy to come back. What it meant to drive 200 miles together a few times a year, it's just really valuable to me. In the car, I got to pick the music. I felt free. I felt safe. I felt independent and grown up with my grandpa. He just had a way of always wanting everyone to feel comfortable. So go in here, Miles. Anyway, moving on. I remember that just the way that he looked at me. It was just always with the most warm and loving eyes. He taught me a lot. He taught me to swim. He taught me how to drive the best, most direct route, and how to properly load the dishwasher, how to vote Republican, save money, how to love dogs, and how to be responsible and just always do the right thing. No matter what, Grandpa always, he just led by example. In my eyes, Dan Lynch is the epitome of a real man. Just a good man and the kind of man I will never forget.
Grandpa, the world lost a great man, husband, father, uncle, grandfather, and great-grandfather when you closed your eyes for the last time. The last time I saw you was around the holidays and you gave me a hug. We said our goodbyes. You told me that you loved me just like you always did. But this time you said, please don't ever forget me. And there were tears in your eyes. I don't think I'll ever forget that moment, but that was definitely one of the hardest things to hear because I knew I could never forget you. Your smile, your humor, and most memorable to me, your hugs. I won't ever forget your bear hugs and the scratches you gave me on my back. I can still even feel them. Not many people have ever made me feel more loved than you and Dad, and saying I miss you both is an understatement. The love you've shown is something that I know none of us will forget, and we will always be able to remember. And I'm fortunate to say I know I'll carry on some of your qualities and live your legacy to the best that I can, but a lot of it definitely runs in the family. Your love, your hugs, and your good looks. But really though, thank you for everything. You've made me a better person. You've made me who I am today. And some of the adversity you went through growing up encouraged me to push through some of the biggest obstacles I've had in my own life. I just wish I could have been able to communicate better with you, to share more of my life with you. But just like any other obstacle, we were able to push through that with patience and find a way. But it just goes to show that the universal language is love, and that we can all understand. But just like then, today, I'm at a loss for words. I'm unable to share that I want to say, just like then. But really, there's not much more to say other than how much you've meant to me, how much I love you, and that words are never enough, but that love is. I love you, Grandpa. Tell Dad I said hi, and tell him I love him too. Rest in peace. I'll always remember you.
We're sending our love and our condolences to Joyce, Danny Jr. family, and thinking of the 77 years that we've been friends at CSD, School for the Deaf. Dan was my first friend in school, and Bernice as well. We were called the Three Musketeers with the three of us, and Don McCune as well. All of us at the school, all the sports we did together, Danny, and moving along. It was kind that he took me home with him for the holidays. We lived almost 5 miles apart from the 400 miles from the school. We stayed close friends through sports. And after Gallaudet was finished, we got together and we worked in the newspaper, the print office at school. And he was the best man at our wedding. And a long-standing friendship. We worked together at the deaf school, where he helped me get the teaching job as well. And we retired the same year. And we will miss Dan. And we cherish our close family and friends, having grown up together. Our family, Paul, Ralph, Johnny as well, Jenny, interpreter, send all of their love. And we love you, much love.
Hi, my name is Mike Lynch, and I'm Danny's youngest brother. I want to tell you a quick story that happened on a Sunday in August in 1948. We came downstairs when we got up in the morning, and we could smell this baking odor, and it was beautiful. We walked in, and Mom was making her very special sponge cake with homemade whipped cream and sliced bananas. And my brother Dan says, is that for dinner tonight? And Mom says, oh, no. Don't you touch this cake. It's going down to the bake sale at St. Basil's Church. And don't touch it. Just, I want you to take it down there. I want it there at 12 o'clock. And when you give it to the lady, you tell her it's Mrs. Lynch's cake. And because everybody has to bring a cake, and I want to make sure that they know that it's mine. And Danny and I, Mom left, went shopping, and Danny, I see his finger, he's taking his finger out, he's going to poke it in the whipped cream. And I said, don't do that, Mom will kill us. And he wasn't pleased with me, but anyway, at 11:55, we take off down the street to the church. And Danny's carrying the cake, and I'm carrying some money that we got together. We were going to try to buy the cake because we wanted to eat it. And I had $4.43 that we had scrounged up. And we got there. Danny went in the back door in the cafeteria, and I went around the front where they were selling the cakes. And I went up, and the lady knew me and said, "Mike, is this your mom's, or where did you bring your mom's cake?" And I said, "No, my brother Danny's got the cake, and he's behind you in the kitchen." And I waved at him, and he came in. And all the ladies were trying to get the cake from him, and he just walked right by him and came out. So he was on the other side of the counter, and he reaches out and he hands me the cake. And I said to the lady, "We want to buy this cake." And she says, "What?" I said, "We want to buy this cake." And she says, "Well, there's 50 cents a slice." And I said, "How many slices in a cake?" Well, then she went in the back to talk to the people, and they had a big discussion, and Danny is kind of, giving me the sign, what's going on? And I said, "I'll tell you later." And she came out and she says, "Yeah, we can sell it." And I says, "Well, how many slices in the cake?" And she says, 8. And I was in the 7 years old, which is third grade. And I figured right away that was $4. So we had the money. And she sold us the cake, and we came home, and we cut it in 4 pieces, and Danny and I each had a piece. And then we went downstairs and we started playing the game. Mom came home about 1 o'clock, and she walked in and went up in the kitchen, and all of a sudden she let out a yell and said, "Mike, you get Danny and you get up here right now." And she's really loud. And I said to Danny, "Mom wants us upstairs." He says, "We're playing a game. We'll go up in a minute." And I said, "She wants us now." So we came upstairs. Mom was standing in the kitchen. She was physically shaking, and she was quite red in the face. And Danny says, what's wrong? And my mom says, "I asked you to take the cake down and don't eat it, don't do any, and you guys ate it. And I haven't got time to make another one. And I'm the president of the Women's Guild, and I haven't sent a cake. And I don't know what I'm gonna do." And Danny is talking to her, and I'm talking to her. And we finally got her calmed down in a few minutes, and we told her what happened, how we went down, took the cake in, paid for the cake, bought the cake, big discussion among the women, the whole deal. And, they were all talking about the Lynch kids that came down and bought their mother's cake. And, Mom said, oh, really? Uh-huh. Then all of a sudden she's getting tears in her eyes, and she says, she couldn't speak, actually. She came up and grabbed Danny, and Danny tried to pull away, and she hugged him, gave him a kiss, and then she kissed me and hugged me. And, 2 kids, 7 and 15, don't like to be kissed and that. And anyway, we backed off, and she, "My goodness, you bought the cake," and yeah, uh-huh. And all of a sudden, she went over to the phone, and she had a very good friend lived up the street, Eleanor Walsh, and she called Eleanor. Eleanor and my mother, about once a week, would exchange a cake. I mean, one week, somebody would make a cake, either my mother or Eleanor, and they would bring it down, and then the next week, whoever received the cake would buy one back. And it was a friendly competition who could make it. They could both make these sponge cakes. And she rings the phone and she says, Eleanor, I have to tell you, do you know what Mike and Dan did? Just a minute ago, they went down and she described the whole thing and she talked quite a while. And then she hung up and she's walking over and she says, you better save a piece of that cake for your father. And then she went downstairs. And that's the short story of it. But it has a bad ending. Mom kept all her recipes in her mind. She never wrote anything down. And she passed away in 1975. And that family recipe, nobody knows what it was. And there were special things you had to do. It had 14 eggs and all of that. But that's lost to the family, but we still have some great memories. Thank you.
Well, thank you for inviting me. I miss Dan. I remember growing up and Dan, my dad were both really good friends. They were close to each other while I was growing up and I watched them. And on holidays, you know, they'd come over, Dan's family, so. And Dan was a great man, funny, enjoyed him. Every time they come over, I just enjoyed my time with him, talking with him and when I was growing up. Oh, and Joyce. Thank you for the opportunity to remember him. I wish you all have a great day now. I love you. Just remember. Thank you. Hello, 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 hello. I am Ronald M. Hirano. I will tell you how I met Dan at the old age of 45 in Vallejo. That situation, well, before that, everyone had met him. And my, oh my foster wife? Delight Rice and I were driving, pick me up. Oh, she was driving to pick me up at, sorry, in Berkeley. And then Delight drove me and we went to Vallejo to discuss with Dan's mom, Evelyn. Your mom's and she strongly believed in lip reading. And Dan and Evelyn were discussing, and I didn't. I was just playing in Delight's car, just staying there, turning it around, driving around, playing. We discussed, and Delight convinced Evelyn that Dan to take him to Berkeley, put him in at California School for the Deaf in Berkeley. And from then on, Delight was in the books. You know, the time was limited. And that's the book I wrote. There is some information that I wrote about him, and Dan's in the book. If you'd like to buy the book, okay. You see the book title is The Life Story of Mother Delight and Her Children. And I'm the author on Amazon. And then Savory Words, cost is $20. So, and then a little bit. I understand. I remember well Dan's signing, teaching, teach, and then taught me. What does that mean? Dan had problems with the children being stubborn, teaching and sweating over it. That's what that meant. Goodbye, Dan. Bless you on your trail, your journey.
Telling stories and remembering what used to happen when you finished eating, and it would be time to do the dishes. And what would happen?
This is just a little story from when Danny was a very little boy, but he was away at school. And if he'd come home on holiday, it was our job, the children, we did the dishes. And we'd all stand up, and Phil probably would say, "I'll wash." And Danny would say, "No." Sunday night, Phil wash, sis dry, I take the table off. Monday night, sis wash, I dry, Phil takes the table off. Wednesday night, sis wash, Phil dry, I take the table off. Now we are Thursday night. I wash, Phil dry, sis take the table off. And he would win every time.
Hello, I'm CM. I am the president of BACDSC, Bay Area Coalition of Deaf Seniors. I want to explain a little of Dan's involvement in our senior group. We are really lucky to have him involved and doing so much for the seniors, starting with DSHPP, and then he would print and send out the senior quarterly newsletter to people all around. And then the Bay Area seniors, he was the second VP from 1996 to 2000. Again, he became the third president of the Bay Area seniors, deaf seniors that year, 2004 through 2006. During those years, he helped get everything in the DSA here in San Francisco. Our deaf seniors convention was very successful. And after that was done, and then he kind of relaxed and realized our organization needs more people to get involved. And he got involved again, second vice president in 2013 for one more year. And even with his older age, he was wonderful. And then he would share during the meetings, and he would be sharing, and people would just watch, and Dan would get up on the stage and people would look up. They were ready to listen. We don't want to miss anything, any of his funny stories, anything at all. And we would laugh and laugh. He was so good. He was such a ham. Wow. He gave and gave money. He was so kind. He always had nice words to say to anybody. It didn't matter. College graduate, not college graduate, didn't matter. He was positive, supportive. You can do it. Thank you. Not many people like him on earth today. I have a secret to share with you. When I first met Dan, where was it? In Colorado. And where? He was teaching there. In my school from Utah, went there to Colorado to play sports, basketball and volleyball. And I went, deaf teacher signing, good looking. I was pretty like, a little bit of a crush. I was 14, 15 at that time. Stupid, but I never dreamed our paths would cross in the future again. So he worked with me in middle school for 1 year, teaching one class because we had short staff that year. And I got to know him better. Wow, good teacher, wonderful teacher. And I have a note from him that I found. And I found that note about a month ago when I was cleaning things out in my office. So he wanted to give me one funny article that he'd been holding on for 20 years. Gave it to me about teaching, the principal. It was funny. It was a funny article. And one paragraph said, "You are one of the few women who I really love." Different kind of love. Different. Why? Special. Because I love my wife the best. Well, yes, of course. He really, really, really loved Joyce. And he knew how to choose good words, you know, even in his writing. On behalf of the Bay Area Coalition of Seniors, I'd like to give our love to Joyce and to the family. And we know now that he's making God and the angels laugh with his funny, funny stories. We really, really all will miss him. We love you, Dan.
Dan Lynch, his name sign, L on the hand. I remember looking back, thinking about him. There's so many things to remember. He has a good sense of humor and many jokes and stories. I would laugh and he would make other people laugh. We enjoyed his wit. He was very witty. Wow. Dan said, Dan was also very gregarious and generous. We went out and we ate, and he always tipped the waiter well. I was very impressed. Dan also, sometimes we would need an actor, so he would be called on the stage to act, and he had a natural acting ability. Oh, it was very cool, very good. Dan also would tell stories about Berkeley School for the Deaf. Many, many stories. He enjoyed the stories and really missed Berkeley. I miss Dan. Dan, I love you.
Hello, I'm Melissa, and I'm Amanda. We're Dan's granddaughters, daughters of Sharon. We really wish we could be there today with everyone. Our grandpa was such an amazing guy. He taught us so many things, like how to gamble at a young age using nickels, playing poker around the kitchen table. I will always remember going to Cobb and putting at the golf course with my Snoopy golf clubs. He would teach me how to putt. We would go to Cobb or Tahoe or even their house in Fremont every summer for a week where we would spend time learning how to sign. They would always give it a fun theme. We would always want to ride in Grandpa's car and even lie to the younger kids and tell them that he had snakes in the back of his trunk that would bite them. And only we knew how to talk to the snakes so that they would ride in the other cars, because Grandpa would let us play our music as loud as we wanted, and he actually encouraged it, except for the one time where we forgot DJ. He drove off without him. We had to try to get his attention to make him go back and pick him up. We will always remember all of our holidays together that we had growing up. Even specifically Christmas, when Grandpa would dress up like Santa Claus and he would knock on the door and we would all come running, and then we would all get to sit on his lap. But I always knew it was him. We would do Easters at their house where we would have scavenger hunts to find our Easter baskets. It was always so much fun. They would always be in random places like the dryer or something. And we always had to find the one specific big egg for each kid that had the money in it. We have so many great memories with our grandpa, and so many lessons that we learned from him. We will miss him forever. He will always hold a special place in our hearts. Love you. Love you.
My name is Leland, and my great grandpa is up in heaven, and I miss him.
Can you send your name?
Al.
Jay.
I'm Paula Bryant. I was a high school student, and I've known Dan Lynch because he was the coach for the girls basketball team that I played on, and I really enjoyed to have him. And also we worked for vocational shop. So when I was a high school student, and then went to the Catholic Workshop Association and the students. We really had fun with him. And then also I joined the Bay Area Deaf Seniors for many years. And he was doing a lot of the events and the things going on. And then later I joined the Seniors Club, and I was thrilled to see Dan and Joyce. Oh, we played bingo, and I saw them playing bingo. I was so happy to have them there. And then Dan was a wonderful man, funny, wise, told many stories, everything was wonderful. And I miss him. Love you. I never forget that how he was with me when I met him in Chicago on a train, because he was from California and I was from Minnesota, and we met there and we were talking, and I said, hello. I said, Dan Lynch, are you a freshman? He's like, no, I'm a junior. No, you're a freshman like me. No. And then the last year I went to Washington for a postgraduate. And then we were both freshmen then. And then he was quiet. You don't tell me you're a junior. I know you're a freshman. Oh, okay.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Danny. Happy birthday to you.
Hello, Lynch family. very sad to hear of Dan's passing, and wanted to give our love from the Bullock family to the Lynch family. I know my father and Dan were really good friends, and I have many, many memories of family gatherings and parties with the Lynches. And I'll always remember Dan's laugh. Always make me laugh because it's always having fun. So I'm gonna miss that.
I remember meeting Dan over 30 years ago when I joined the Bullock family. Dan always made me feel welcome and special. And Dan had such a warm and sweet heart, funny, made me laugh, and we, Bullock family, love Dan. We'll miss him very much.
Dan is a person, a student at Berkeley. The screen is freezing and I apologize. I'm trying to catch what I can here. We'd see him over the years. I'd see him in the stores, in the community. He's the same. Dan's the same, funny. And then he'd get along with everybody. And then Dan would say, "What's so funny?" And I would just start laughing. And then just smile. Always, always. He would just sign it as that same. I'm just gonna miss that about him. I love you. You're in my heart. Hello, I'm Brian Malkzhun. I loved Dan. And we were at School for Deaf in Berkeley. He was my printing teacher in printing. And then he set up an office at that time. Hot time? It was hot type. And then I worked along on that. And then we went ahead and got better and better and better. And he gave me so more. And I grew so much in a year at the school.
He gave me a passport to take with me to Gallaudet College. And so when I got to Gallaudet, I needed some money my third year or second year. So I gave the book to that supervisor and he looked at the book and saw Dan Lynch's signature. And he said, "Oh, you're from the Berkeley School for the Deaf. Come on, you can have a job here." And so because Dan recommended me, I advanced and got work while I was in college. He was also my junior varsity coach, and I will never forget this one game. I'm not a great player, but enjoyed being on the team. And one afternoon we had a Wednesday game. So Dan was coaching and he's like, "Come on now, we need a volunteer to somebody who's willing to just keep on breaking through that line." And I thought, well, I knew the plays, whatever. So I studied them and I raised my hand. And so we were playing against San Rafael Military Academy. We were the Berkeley School for the Deaf. So the game was going and it was a tough game. And he said, I need you to go in there. And I broke him through the line several times. We won the game and I was like a hero. The first time in my life ever had the opportunity to be a hero. But they all lifted me up and they were patting me on the back, high fives. It was 15-13. So I look back at that and I thank Dan for putting me in that game. He's done a lot. He was the president of the Athletic Association. But we have had interchanging conversations. It's great stuff. He's never, ever been boring. So thank you, Dan. Thanks for your inspiration. I will never forget you. Love you. It's an easy one.
Dan, we love you. We love you.
Okay.
I
I don't know.
Hello, can you hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I am going to try to SimCom, but if my video appears delayed, the interpreter can shadow my work. If I can do it without emotion. I was blessed to have Dan as my uncle. My Uncle Dan was always a big man with a big heart. And when I look back on my years growing up, I have so many wonderful memories. Playing charades at Christmas time, going camping with the Flying Hands Camping Club, and all the Coda kids getting together and getting in trouble while all the deaf people were doing their thing. But one of my favorite memories was going to a performance with 4 men on the stage, all dressed up in ballet tutus and doing a ballet dance. And I don't remember the other men, but I remember my Uncle Dan in his pink tutu. And I still smile when I think of that. He loved to make people laugh. He was a hard worker. I remember him loving golf. I remember him loving food. And I remember him loving family. And that big part of my heart that is deaf is still with me because it's where my roots are and they go deep. I love you, Uncle Dan. Thank you.
That's it. So, hello, everybody. I know this, I know this got a little choppy for some of you. My apologies, circumstances beyond my control. That's the end of our show. So unless somebody else would like to speak, I think I'm hearing from my assistants that Pam was the only one.
It's Kim here, Dan. Yes, Pam was the only one.
So we have a few minutes. If anybody else would like to say something, we can do that. Just jump into the chat window and type some, let us know. If not, we're ready to wrap up. Do you want to say anything?
Okay, I'm getting some names right now. I'm gonna make a list again and start posting their sharing their videos.
Okay.
Can we show this one? Can you hold this one? Deb Casper. Deb Casper, she's a Matthews. She probably wants to say something. Are these the people on the list?
Oh, is that Millie?
Yeah. Should I go? Or, oh, okay.
You can go, Millie.
Okay, I just saw myself on screen now. Okay. Nobody has said anything that I remember about Danny, and that is how good he smells. His cologne. I bought some myself. I've been every day smelling and feeling Dan close and hug. Oh, I want to say more hug. He smells so good. Thank you for sharing yourself, Dan. Love.
Thank you, Millie.
Okay, so I think that's, hang on a second. Ask Mom if she would like to say anything.
Want to say anything? She says no, dear.
Okay. Well, so that's it. Thank you all very much. I'm
Sorry, Dan, one more person who wants to speak. I'm just trying to get their video up.
Oh, awesome.
Tennis.
Oh, it looks like Phil, is that,
Louise Raymond, it's Amanda.
it's Amanda.
No.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yep, you're up.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Amanda. I'm Uncle Danny. Dan was my uncle. My dad was his brother, Phil, his oldest brother. And I just, in all of this, I've been feeling that the person I knew was so much more accomplished than I ever realized. There's so much about Dan's life that I didn't know. And I just wanted to share one of my happiest childhood memories, and it was so huge. We would go to Grandma Lynch's house for Easter and for Christmas, Thanksgiving. And I always was very intrigued with communicating with Aunt Joyce and Uncle Danny. Unfortunately, none of us ever learned to sign. So there was always pads of paper and lots of trying to cram all your news into a few sentences for Uncle Danny and Aunt Joyce. But one of my fondest memories was the fact that Uncle Danny always brought, I don't know where he got these, and Sharon, if you can explain where he got these, but he would bring these reel-to-reel movies to Grandma Lynch's house. And he always had the most current Walt Disney films. I remember watching Cinderella, and probably it was a way to get the kids to just settle down for a couple of hours, but they would darken a room and we would have a movie theater experience watching the most recent Disney films. And it seems like Uncle Danny did this 3 or 4 times, and it was just me and my siblings still talk about the fact that he would bring these movies, and it was just such a happy memory. And I remember Uncle Danny just always being so animated and so loving, and his big hugs. And of course, then there's Joyce being the most famous signing newscaster on Cron 4. I've just always been absolutely amazed at the people that you are and how you've raised such wonderful children. And what an amazing life story Uncle Danny has. We love him to death. And Dan, I know that my dad was up there with a cocktail waiting for you when you arrived, and I'm sure the parties never stopped. But we love you dearly, and we love all you guys so much.
Thank you.
Tell Amanda.
So Amanda, and maybe for some of the others, the films she's speaking about, we called captioned films. And it was a government program that was available for the deaf. And they would send out a catalog, and as you said, it would be the latest releases. But they would get them from Disney and whoever else was making the movies, and then the government would add captions to them and put them.
I don't even remember them being captioned, but they must have been. If you guys enjoyed them, that's probably why, huh?
So it was kind of like a lending library, but it was movies. So you would fill out the order form and tell them what movies you were interested in. They'd put you in the wait list, and movies would show up, and we'd have movie night.
Yeah, that was so much fun. I just remember being in awe that, because back then we didn't have any of the access to TV that we have now, where you can just type in a movie and bring it up. I mean, it was such a treat to see a full-blown Disney movie at your grandma's house for Thanksgiving. So much fun.
Thank you.
Thank you, Amanda.
Yeah, love you guys.
Love you.
Kimberly, anybody else?
One more person.
Oh, great. Okay, let me take these guys off, and looks like Cousin Phil.
Yeah. Hey, just wanted to check in with the Lynch clan in Sonoma County. I have my mom, Connie, who was
Phil's wife.
Phil's wife, Uncle Dan's, and Kate and Francine. And we're here, and just wanted to say what a fabulous event you guys have created. And we have just, well, I've been weeping and laughing and having fun and crying. But it's been wonderful, very emotional, but also just so great to be involved in all of this. And so for me personally, I'm going to tell one last story. And this is kind of for my cousin Dan and I. And I'm going to try and get one on your dad and see if I can get a laugh out of him. So in that same big house, which Uncle Mike lives in now on Capilano Street, on holidays, the adults were upstairs and they were having a big party and everything was going crazy up there. And while that was happening, the kids had free run of the lower levels of the house. And in the garage, there were many wondrous things. And one of them was a big pantry shelf. And there was these many cans of food that never, ever seemed to go anywhere. And one of them that intrigued Dan Jr. and I, was some smoked oysters. in a little tin. And so one time when everything was going on, we went and got ourselves a little can of oysters, and you could go off on this little split level porch and go down. We went down under this little porch and we opened up these oysters, and we were daring each other to have one. And down the stairs comes Uncle Danny. And he was red in the face, and he seemed to be angry with us, and there was an interaction back and forth, and Dan Jr. said, no, we're not smoking. He said, these are smoked oysters.
Smoked oysters.
Just burst into laughter, and then of course we did too. But so I'm hoping that he's enjoying that story.
Yeah.
Thank you, Phil.
Thank you. I'm still not a fan of smoked oysters.
I like.
Anyway, we love you, Uncle Danny. We'll miss you.
Louis. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, Dan, there's 2 more.
Ethan Bernstein. Voice. Hi. Hi. I am Ethan Bernstein. This is my wife. And I wanted to tell a story because Dan was a great friend of my father, Seymour Bernstein. And when I grew up, we'd often drive up to the Bay Area to visit my mother's parents, my grandparents in Oregon, but we would often stay at Dan and Joyce's house or Buddy and Bernice Singelton's, either of the houses. But my dad liked to stop there. So my dad, Buddy, and Dan would just cut up and joke with each other. And I think I remember he lived in Lafayette, Dan did, but the 3 of them were really great friends. So Dan and Buddy and my dad went to Gallaudet. After Gallaudet, they went to see California State Northridge, and they came down south. And so they played golf a lot with my dad. They were, I think I remember that both of them were also in a play together called Billy Budd. And the movie, there is like a film of them that I saw there, and it was about people on a ship or sailors, men. But I enjoyed watching their conversations between the men. My dad's up in heaven already 8 years ago, and I'm sure he's thrilled to have his friend up there with him. And so I'm glad that they're both up there together, but we are all missing everybody who's up there. Love you.
All right, 1 more, Dan.
Great.
Sorry. No. I don't.
So we're waiting.
I would give her a second. It's Marilyn who wants to share something.
Okay.
Oh, Marilyn, I love her.
We're standing by. I'm very impressed. I see 57 participants. I wasn't expecting this many, but I'm really happy you all joined us.
Hold on, I'm trying to get her to share her video, but she keeps clicking. Hold on, I think Pam's trying to help her. Hold on.
Downtime, I can explain this.
here we go. Oh, almost
There-
had him.
Oh, she was there.
So close. I don't think, I'm not sure what.
Oh, New Zealand's on. Mary Jean O'Donnell. Thanks so much for sharing this with us. It's lovely to see you, and you are much in our thoughts.
So is Marilyn still trying to connect, Kimberly?
She is. I'm allowing her to click her video on, but it keeps getting denied that she'll do it later.
Sign accept.
Oh.
Can she
Oh,
sign?
there she goes. She's on now.
Okay,
There we go. Yay.
tell her she got it.
Okay. I'm used with the video, but really, I had to share the celebration, if it's all right. I hope can you see me?
There.
Because I wished I could have gotten all the names. I feel like all the names are in the way. I wish I could click that out of the way. Okay. Go ahead.
Yes.
I'm sorry, making everybody wait. I'm sorry. First of all, I miss Dan very, 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 very much. Everyone together, Joyce and Dan, for many, many years. Really, since we were married, we were married on the same year, 1956, right? 1956, if I remember right. Okay, I'm getting older. Not so good with my age now, remembering. I think of Dan, and I'm happy that I'm deaf, because if I'm not deaf, I wouldn't been able to get into this Berkeley School for the Deaf. I would never have had the opportunity to meet Dan and Joyce. So I'm very, very, very thankful that we knew Dan and Joyce. Dan, such a great communicator. Many, 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 many interesting, broad, just so many different things that he could say anything about, principle, stories about family, stories about the children. Wow. Never stopped talking, never bored. And it's sad, but mostly funny things. And I'm so thankful for all you people. Very, very, very strong.
He was very kind.
Very kind.
Generous.
And very generous. Such a good man. And really, really, really just so thankful for him. And such a great leader, always busy with meetings and different committees. And, and I know he loved you, Joyce, so much. We're so proud that Dan and Joyce are our brother and sister in the Lord. Very, very love your family. I remember Dan's mom, so sweet. His mom and loved his brother and sister, Mary. Oh. I remember what I wanted to, something I wanted to share. But I send love, send it so much. We learned so much from Dan. Then we were married and how to make our sex better. Oh. Embarrassed. His advice really helped, I have to say. Really, really did. Joyce knows. Also, really good. The woodworking.
Do you want to say something?
I still have some of his woodworking. Let me get it for you. Hold on.
What you getting?
He's going to get a wood carving of
Oh.
his. So should I get in here and say something since we have that screen?
You could sit right here. I can give you
No,
this.
because well,
Because
then
I
she
can-
might
I
not
can-
be able to connect again. So let me just use this one. Hi, I'm Sharon. While Marilyn is gone to find her woodwork, I will read a list of what my dad prepared for his funeral. He prepared so that people could know all of his clubs and the names. Hold up. Marilyn's back. I'll read mine in a minute.
See, Charlie Chaplin. Oh, okay. Wait. Joyce, Sharon's speaking now.
No. Let her go. You have to be on here to tell her. My mom.
So Sharon, you want to sit here? It's a
No,
better.
I'd rather stand.
Okay.
So ask her if she's done. Okay, if she's done, we can get her off.
See, do you see him? You see him?
He painted that.
He painted that. And I'm happy I have something from Dan. I cherish this. He loved driving. Oh, you know that. And then when Joyce and Dan were dating, he would drive to San Diego from Vallejo, and he would drive all that way back and forth. Very, very proud of his driving. I remember, what car did he have? What kind of car was that?
D3 Chevy.
What color? Blue. Yes. Right. Where I was impressed. He could drive from Vallejo to San Diego because he loved Joyce so much. And he was in trouble because Joyce was roller skating. She was dating a hearing guy. Joyce to a hearing guy, so he kept making that back and forth. Anyway, yeah, learned so much. It's so important to know. Really, very, very knowledgeable. Smart man. Very, very smart man. He would make us laugh too. He was so good. He's always in our thoughts. Always be in our hearts. God, for Jesus Christ coming to earth. Hey, with him up there. I love you. You see?
There's Joanne.
All right. Did you see him?
Yes.
Did you see him? Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I love you. Thank you. Thank you. We'll talk.
Bye-bye.
We'll talk soon. Bye-bye.
That was it, Dan.
Sharon, do
So
you
I
want
want
to
to
say?
say, yeah, I just want to read this list of.
Kimberly, I think we just have one thing. Sharon wants to
Yeah,
say something
right,
here.
Okay, and I'll sign it. Okay, you read it to me and then out loud and then I'll sign it.
Okay.
My dad, first I'll say that my dad printed this himself in preparation for his services, I'm sure. So we have two categories of
Dan at CSD.
at CSD and in the community. So at CSD, his duties and jobs were
Graphic arts instructor.
graphic arts instructor,
PE coordinator and director.
PE coordinator and director,
JV football coach.
JV football coach,
Vocational principal.
subbing for Mr.
Temporary.
Whitthorne, subbing for
Mr. Whitthorne.
Mr. Whitthorne, who had a back problem.
Yes.
Just go a little faster.
While I was still in PE.
While I still was teaching PE,
Junior high math teacher.
junior high school math teacher,
Vocational adjustment teacher.
vocational adjustment teacher,
Planning the first California Classics tournament, like
Planning
college.
the first California Classic basketball tournament at Lake Merritt College.
8 Western deaf schools involved, 650 gift each for transportation.
Schools were involved and we fundraised for them all to be given $650 for transportation.
Student affairs director.
Student affairs director,
Girls basketball coach.
girls basketball coach.
Started that from scratch.
I started that from scratch.
During the first year, they had to borrow boys' old varsity
And
uniforms.
during the first
With white
year,
t-shirts
we
under
set
them.
up, those girls, my team had to borrow the boys' jerseys, basketball uniforms, and they put white t-shirts underneath because they were boys. Anyway,
Practiced during the evenings and they got third in league.
we practiced and practiced during the evenings and they won third place in our league.
Third California Basketball Classic and
And
College Gym again.
The third California Classic basketball tournament.
Invited girls to join the tournament. 16 teams this time.
We invited 16 teams.
$650 gift for each transportation.
Again, $650 for each of those teams.
And super colorful trophies. on
And
display.
we also, trophies, colorful, great, beautiful trophies.
PE coordinator.
Was also PE coordinator.
Got 3 new PE teachers.
We recruited 3 new PE teachers.
After Mr. Galvin passed away, John Galvin passed
For
away.
printing after John Galvin passed away.
Went back to graphic arts department and worked
I
with Mr.
left
Singelton.
and joined graphic arts again with Buddy Singelton.
Had been FAA director about 24 years.
24 years FAA director.
Special ed teacher for the last 4 years.
Special ed teacher for my last 4 years.
Now community service.
And that's what I did during my employment at the California School for the Deaf. Now, my community events that my dad wrote down and made the list.
Founder and president of the East Bay Sports Club.
Founder and president of the East Bay Sports Club.
Did a lot of fundraising to support the sports without borrowing money from the old East Bay Club.
So we did fundraising without borrowing money from the old sports club.
President of East Bay CIAD chapter for the deaf.
CAID.
CIAD.
CIAD, what's that mean? Mom?
California. California Association.
Well, the CIAD, we're not, if somebody knows, let us know what that is. So,
President of the Gallaudet Alumni Association.
Gallaudet Alumni Association.
Nugget newsletter editor.
Editor of the Nugget newsletter.
That's when we got to know Hank and Bunny
That's
Klopping during group discussions.
with
After
Hank
meetings.
and Bunny Klopping. After the meetings, we talked.
Chairman of the first CSD alumni reunion at our new Fremont school.
Chairman of the first alumni reunion at the Fremont School for the Deaf.
President of Vista Lions Club for the third time.
President of the Vista Lions for the third time.
Vista Lions newsletter editor.
Just
Hold
stop for a
on,
second.
hold on.
Tell them Klopping submitted a video and I left it out somehow.
Oh, Hank and Bunny did send us videos and we just realized that they were not included and we really
My fault.
apologize.
I missed that one.
So sorry that we missed including their videos, but Bunny Klopping and Hank Klopping submitted videos. See what we can do to find those, but accept our apologies, please.
Coalition of the
CI, what was it? CI?
Coalition Institutionalized Aged and Disabled.
Coalition of Institutionalized Aged and Disabled. That's the CI. CIAD.
Okay, was one of 4 founders who set up the foundation for the deaf and hard of hearing.
Foundation for Deaf and Hard of Hearing.
Later at the Lions National Convention, our foundation became the Ears of the Lion.
Ears of the Lions, our foundation later was developed.
Also had the Eyes of the Lion for the blind group.
Similar to the Eyes of the Lion group.
Our first project, we
Go
had
ahead.
220 or 240 caption decoders were given to deaf students and adults.
Decoders that you do your TV, the old kind, gave those out to adults.
Received the Lions Governor Award.
Received the Lions Governor Award.
Felt good serving hearing lions in return of them serving us.
Serve the hearing instead of the hearing serving us.
President of the BACDSC, Bay Area Coalition of Deaf Seniors. Involved with the newsletter. Also one of the 13 Housing Project Committee officer. Officer of the South Bay CAD chapter. California Association of the Deaf. Did a lot of fundraising, banquets, picnics. I'm vice president of the Fremont Deaf Seniors. That's the least I can do. I am 77 years old, smile, still a bit of a ham.
And that's what he prepared for his own services.
That was 10 years ago.
10 years ago, he was already like looking forward to going to heaven. So thanks, that's what I wanted to share.
On the picture?
Kind of, but
yeah.
but I think this is.
I think we're good.
Thank you. Thank you all for coming. Really appreciate it. Thanks to the interpreters. Sharon and Naomi.
Did the work.
Thank you.
All right, thanks everyone. Thanks for joining us.
Video.
All right, so. Okay, so that's it. Thank you. We're going to end the meeting now.